Hi all, here's a look at the new Stratholme pet dungeon coming in patch 8.2. This was recorded on the PTR, so maybe different ones live. Pickup for the quest is in the same location as with the Norman pet dungeon. For the Alliance, the pickup is from Tizzy Gearjolt, east of the Proudmoor Barracks. For Horde, it should be located around here on the map. The quest is called Restless Dead. Once you've picked it up, head on over to the Eastern Plaguelands. The hand-in is just outside the service entrance, located here on the map. After handing in, you'll be given the Tiny Tours of Stratholme quest. This is the normal version of the dungeon, and upon completion you'll be awarded the customary Mana Poof portal and an ultimate battle training stone. Similar to the Dead Mines and Norman dungeons, you'll be awarded a token each week after completing the challenge mode of the dungeon, which can then be exchanged for the following. 1 token gets you unopened Stratholme supply crate, or Ziggy. 2 tokens you can buy a Crypt Fiend, and for 3 tokens you can buy a contained Banshee Whale or a Smelly Cleaver. Once you've completed the dungeon on normal mode, you then get the quest for the challenge mode difficulty.
I supply only the finest goods.
This dungeon has 12 stages. A few of these stages have 2 of the so far possible 6 random backline pets. These consist of undead, dragonkin and magic pets. Pets such as Anubisaf idols, emerald proto-whelps and frogs should make short work of these in most situations. The first stage is against Belchling, which will have 2 of the 6 random backline pets. For this, I used a Stormborn Whelpling with Frost Breath, Mana Surge and Arcane Storm, and then 2 backup pets. I went with an Anubisaf idol with Crush, Stone Skin, Sandstorm may be better here, and Deflection, and an Emerald Proto-Whelp with Breath, Emerald Presence and Emerald Dream. Start with Arcane Storm. Followed by Mana Surge. The second or third round of Mana Surge will finish off the Belchling. Once the Belchling is defeated, do whatever damage you can with your Whelpling before it's defeated, then clean up with your backline pets. If using the idol, keep Stone Skin or Sandstorm active and Crush to fill. If using the Proto-Whelp, use Emerald Presence if appropriate, otherwise Breath until done. Stage 2 is against the Sludge Belcher, which is directly behind Belchling, so minimal movement is needed. For this I used a rabbit, higher the power here the better, with Flurry, Dodge and Stampede, and then 2 frogs, both with Tongue Lash, Mudslide and Bubble. Start with your rabbit and cast Dodge, followed by Stampede. Once Stampede is finished, cast Flurry or Stampede. After this, the Belcher will use Meat Hook and force in one of your frogs. Start with Mudslide. This will do a nice chunk of damage due to the Shattered Defenses debuff being active from your Rabbit Stampede. Now simply use Tongue Lash until the Belcher is defeated. If your Rabbit is forced back in, just spam Flurry. Use Dodge or Bubble in the Belcher's Undead round. Once the Belcher is defeated, we enter stage 3. Here simply run forward towards the Crypt Fiend. When you get near the Wandering Phantasm, it'll also run towards the Crypt Fiend and will then become available to battle. However, I'm going to start with the Crypt Fiend. This one also comes with 2 of the 6 random pets. For this I used a Dandelion Frolicker with Scratch, and Barkskin. Any pet with these abilities will work fine in its place. If using the Frolicker, you could take Dazzling Dance as well. Can be beneficial for your 2 backup pets, which are your 2 remaining pets. Again, I went with an Anubis Idol and an Emerald Protowhelp with the usual abilities. Start with Barkskin. And then spam Scratch until the Crypt Fiend enters its undead round. Once in the undead round, either cast Barkskin or Dazzling Dance. Once the Crypt Fiend is defeated, do whatever damage you can with your Frolicker before it's defeated, then use your backup pets to clean up. I tried to be clever here and heal up my Protowhelp, so this fight went closer than expected. For the Wandering Phantasm, again this has 2 of the 6 random backline pets. I used a Spring Rabbit, or any rabbit with a speed above 334, with Flurry, Dodge and Stampede. And then for my backup pets, I went with a Courage Guardling with Crush, Sandstorm and Blackout Kick, and then a Frog with Tongue Lash, Healing Wave and Swarm of Flies. Start with Dodge. Followed by Stampede. Once Stampede is finished, cast Flurry until the Phantasm enters its undead round. Will usually be 1. Once in the undead round, cast Dodge. Do whatever damage you can with your rabbit before it's defeated. Try leaving a Shattered Defenses debuff on the active pet if possible. Once your rabbit is defeated, clean up with your backup pets. Once both the Crypt Fiend and the Wandering Phantasm are defeated, you enter stage 4, where you need to defeat Liz the Tormentor. For this I used Icky with Savage Talon, Black Claw and Flock, and then any pet with Breath or Flame Breath ability. I went with a Cinderpup. The final pet won't be used. Start with Black Claw. Followed by Flock. Once Flock has finished, Icky will be low on health. Cast Flock or Savage Talon. These are unlikely to hit and Icky will usually be defeated. When this happens, bring in your pet with Breath or Flame Breath ability. In my case it was the Cinderpup, and you guessed it, cast Flame Breath. This should finish off Liz. Once Liz is defeated, we enter stage 5. Sean Wilkes appears, follow him and then enter the gates. These will close like in the normal dungeon and you'll enter stage 6. Here you need to fight against 7 pets in a single battle. These are all rats, either undead or critters. Here I just use an Emperor Crab with Snap, Healing Wave and Shell Shield. This can take some time, so if you want to get this done quicker, use your crab as the final pet and take pets with Pounce or Gnaw. This should make it a lot faster. If using the crab, like myself, keep Shell Shield active, use Healing Wave when needed, otherwise Snap to victory. After defeating the rats, we enter stage 7, where we fight against a Rising Guard. This one has 2 of the 6 random backline pets. For this I used a cockroach with a speed above 297, with Scratch and Swarm, and then 2 backup pets. Start with Swarm. Once Swarm is finished, use Scratch until the Rising Guard enters its undead round. Once in the undead round, cast Swarm. Do whatever damage you can with your cockroach before it's defeated, then clean up with your backup pets. We then enter stage 8, where we fight against Nefarious Terry. For this I used a Diabeak Hatchling with Falcasaur Swarm, Iron Skin and Predatory Strike, and then any frog with Tongue Lash, Swarm of Flies and or Mudslide. Start with Iron Skin, followed by Falcasaur Swarm, then Predatory Strike, another Falcasaur Swarm, once this swarm is finished, cast Iron Skin, followed by another Falcasaur Swarm, then Predatory Strike, and if possible, another Falcasaur Swarm. If your Diabeak is defeated, use your frog to clean up. After defeating Terry, we enter stage 9, where we get to control a cleansed Sludge Belcher. You get 3 abilities. First one is Cleaver Smash, a single target attack. The second ability is Sludge Belch, which is an AoE frontal cone attack which does damage and also damage over time. And the final ability is Meat Hook. This is a ranged attack which also heals your Sludge Belcher for 20% of its health. Kill all enemies to progress to stage 10. When in stage 10, enter the Slaughterhouse. This will kick you off the Sludge Belcher and have 2 battles. I'll start with Tommy the Cruel. For this I used a Coastal Sandpiper. Mine has a base speed of 325. Not sure if this is needed, but only had this one to test. Please let me know in the comments below if other breeds work or not. With Quick Attack, Flock and Quicksand, and then 2 backup pets. These are unlikely to be used. Start with Flock. Followed by Quicksand. Now Quick Attack until done. Use your backup pets to clean up if needed. For Huncher, I just used 3 frogs, all with a speed above 261, and each with any combination of the following abilities: Mudslide, Swarm of Flies, and Tongue Lash. Simply follow this priority. Use Mudslide on cooldown, keep Swarm of Flies active, otherwise Tongue Lash until the fight is done. Huncher will force out your pet from time to time, but as we're using all frogs, just follow the ability priority. Once both Huncher and Tommy are defeated, we enter stage 11. This one is the shadowy figure roleplay.
Oh, great. The hero is here. Ugh, this assignment is going to take forever.
Shut up! She trusted us to complete this task, and this time we will, with the power of science.
But she's always giving me orders and sending me on stupid missions. What about me? What about what I want to do?
All you do is whine. If you don't put a lid on it, I'll put a lid on you. Now brace yourself. It's time for stage 2.
You're worse than she is. Why do I even talk to you?
Because I'm a genius? Oh, this piece of junk is taking too long. What if I remove the regulators and crank it to the max?
Once the roleplay is finished, we enter the final stage, where we fight against Blackmane. For this, I used a little bling with inflation, extra plating, and make it rain. Your second pet is a Darkmoon Tongue with missile, shock and awe, and ion cannon, and finally any pet with missile. I went with a Darkmoon Zeppelin. If using the Zeppelin, take decoy. Start with extra plating, followed by make it rain, then inflation, Once inflation is finished, cast Make It Rain. This should defeat Blackmane for the first time, who will then come back enhanced. Cast Inflation until your little bling is defeated. Once defeated, bring in your tongue, cast Shock and Awe. Now you can cast Missile followed by Iron Cannon, or just cast Iron Cannon like I did here. Probably better to cast one Missile then Iron Cannon. If this doesn't finish your Blackmane and your tongue is defeated, use your final pet to clean up.
What can I do for you?
Handing in the challenge mode quest will give you your first token, the achievement, and a Mini-Mancer pet.
Have a good one.
This pet has the following abilities once leveled: Shadow Shock or Soul Steal, Raise Ally or Grave Destruction, and Deafen Decay or Bone Barrage. I like this dungeon a lot. It's nice and quick, doesn't require any hard to get pets, and is one of the more fun ones in my opinion. I hope they make more like this. I think it's just about right both with time and difficulty, and is very accessible especially for those just getting into pet battling. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.